This is the sixth reading of These Are My Words. I'm starting on page number 76. Wednesday, November 16. Miss Lewis showed up this morning. She's filling in for Miss Tanner for a couple days, she said. Everyone seems to relax when she is here. I think of them as sunshine and black cloud. Hey, that could be another story I could write. I'm going to write Grandma before supper bell rings. November 16, 1966. Dear Grandma, I got your letter right on my birthday, and thank you very much for the $5. I will make it last as long as I can. I didn't have any news to tell you, except today I have something to say. The supervisor picked me up at King George School in the residential car and took me to the eye doctor yesterday. When we got there, we sat in a waiting room for a while, and I was very excited. Finally, the doctor called me in and took a pair of black framed glasses and put them on my nose. I could see very clearly all of a sudden. When we walked out of there, I could see everything very clearly, even across the street with sale signs in the shop windows. I didn't know there was anything wrong with my eyes until the teacher noticed. The supervisor then took me to see the eye doctor, and I had to read tiny letters across the room. And that was when he checked my eyes and found which lenses I could see from the clearest. And then Miss Tanner picked out the frames for me. Now I have them on. I thought the girls and my classmates would tease me and make fun of me, but no one paid any attention to me except a girl who sleeps beside me. She crossed her eyes and stuck out her tongue. It is great to see things very clearly. I do miss you very much, and I can't wait to see you again. With all my love, Violet. Friday, November 18. I'm feeling like I am stuck on a very long mourning period where you cannot cry or start crying for a person who died, and you have to wait for the right time. My heart and soul are starting to hurt. I can't get rid of that feeling. I just want to start crying and get out of here and go home. But I know I have to last until Christmas break, when they send us all home. I keep imagining Grandma and remembering how her going about her day's schedule. I remember one time we were walking through the path to her woodpile in the bush when a squirrel started chirring overhead. She looked up to say something to it, and a big blob of snow landed on her face that the squirrel had knocked off from a branch. I started to laugh so hard I almost doubled over, and she pushed me, and I landed in the snow. When I walked to school, I tried to remember what she would be doing that morning and go through the whole routine with her. I walk every step with her until she gets home safe and snug in her warm cabin. I'm feeling very sad and lonely. Saturday, November 19. Miss Lewis has this afternoon off, so she's taking me to a movie show. I don't actually know if she has told anyone, but I've never been to a movie before, so I don't really care. We're going to take a bus to town. She mails my letters for me sometimes when she can. I managed to write a letter to Jenny, and she mailed it. We were on the bus when she handed me a letter. It was from Mother, and it was not even opened. I didn't ask her how she managed to get it. I told her that she's going to get in trouble if she gets caught, but she just winked at me. I opened the letter and found a $5 bill. It felt so good to open the letter and know that I am the first person to read it. I always feel like I'm being cheated, or I don't know what the word is for what I feel when I'm given a letter that has already been read by someone else. November 12th, 1966. Dear Violet, I'm sending you $5 for your birthday. Eliza is doing well and growing real fast. She and the other little boys and girls go to a little activity center in the afternoons. She gets really excited when it's time to go and then wants to go home when we get there. Lyndon is quite a serious 8-year-old. He goes hunting with his father and checks traps with him. He's even cleaning his own kill now, too. He says he is going to be a hunter, trapper, and fisherman like his father when he grows up. I called Grandma last week, and she is doing fine. I send her some money when I can, just to help her out a bit. I don't know the new train schedule because she now has to do an overnight trip at the nearest town to get her supplies. Now she has to pay for a hotel room when she goes there. My work is going great. I really like working at the band office, and I get to see all the government people who arrive on the airplane. But I also have to listen to people coming and complaining about things in the community. I am glad Izzy is not the chief. We have decided that we will all go to Grandma's place to see you when you come home for Christmas. It would be too hard for you to come here, too, after getting off the train at Grandma's. We can't wait to see you. Take care of yourself. Your mom, Emily. I put the letter into my pocket and was quiet for a little while until Miss Lewis asked if everything was okay. I smiled and thanked her again. I really liked the movie, and I got to taste theater popcorn for the first time, and the pop was good too. The movie was about a little boy and his dog. It gave me some ideas for Blackie adventures. I was starting to run out of things for Blackie to get into. Maybe that's why Miss Lewis decided to take me. I don't know. I didn't ask her. I kept thanking her over and over again for the taking me until she burst out laughing and said, "Enough, enough." I asked her what her first name was on the way home, and she said Joe, and I smiled and asked her, "Like in a boy's name, Joe?" And she laughed and said, "No, Joe. That's short for Josephine. But don't forget, you are not to call me by my first name when I'm at work." I won't forget. Sunday, November 20th. Emma finally came this afternoon, but with a boy. I was so disappointed. I wanted to talk to her about going home for Christmas. I didn't like the pimple-faced dark boy. His name sounded very different, and he kept frowning at me like I was in the way. We went to the park, and after a while I realized that they were spending the whole time talking to each other, and I was just following them. Finally, I just said that I had to get back and finish my homework. I ran all the way back. Monday, November 21. I took a shortcut to this corner store about 2 blocks from the residential school after school. When I came out, I was unwrapping the chocolate bar when I heard a shout. "There's one!" I saw 5 teenage white boys running across the street and looked around me, and that's when I realized they were running toward me. I just took off as fast as I could. I raced to the main road and down the street, but I could still hear them behind me. I came around the corner and ran across the road and just barely missed being hit by a car. It screeched to a halt, and I heard a man yelling. I glanced back, and the man was getting out of his car and shouting at the boys. I had a stitch in my side, so I slowed down when I saw the tree-lined driveway to the residential school. The boys were no longer behind me. I walked up the driveway and sat down on the first of the wide steps and slowly ate my chocolate bar. I wonder what they would have done to me if they had caught me. I have to watch out for them. Wednesday, November 23rd. I got home from school and I could tell that someone had been through my things. The things in my night table drawer were moved around. I always put my letters in the order that I get them. They were all mixed up, but at least they were still there. The things in my locker were also moved around. I don't like it when people touch my stuff. I wish I had a place where I could hide my things. My desk at school isn't mine either. Other students sit there when we move classes. Although I write in very tiny letters, my diary is getting thick. I have 3 of the booklets now, and I don't know where to hide them. Right now, they are in between the pages of my Blackie story. Saturday, November 26th. I just spent the last of the $5 from Grandma. I bought a sponge toffee at the little shop at the park. I still have Mother's $5, though. Emma came to visit me this afternoon. She said she felt bad about Sunday. Her boyfriend had to go out of town with his family this weekend, and so we can spend time at the park together. She had some money from her father, and she still seemed to be happy in the home that she lives at. The people are very nice, she says. It was good to see her, and I asked when we would be going home for Christmas. She said it will probably be the week before, the 22nd of December. I can't wait. Monday, November 28th. I am waiting for the breakfast bell to ring. I have not answered Mother's letter yet. I don't have anything to say. After school, I got a letter from Grandma. I have copied it here. November 20th, 1966. Dear Peanut, I hope that you are well and happy. I am coming along fine, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. It's only a month away now. I took the train to Sandy Bay last week. I was at a church rummage sale. That's a big church they have there. And I met an older woman like me. She got to talking, and we left the church at the same time, so we decided to go to the restaurant and have a cup of tea. Well, she invited me to come to her house. She lives alone, and only her son comes to check up on her sometimes and to fix things that need fixing. Anyway, she invited me to stay with her every time that I come into town. She has a nice little house, and since I had not gone to the hotel yet, I accepted her offer and stayed there overnight. She has an extra room that her son sleeps in when he comes in. She had a pot of beef stew simmering on the stove when we got there, and fresh bannock on the table. We sat up talking and drinking tea at the kitchen table late into the night. I really enjoyed that. I had never had so much tea. I'm going to have a special treat for you when you get home. I will make you a feast that you will never forget. I'm busy making moccasins for the storekeeper and his family, and even paid me half ahead of time. He says he'll pay me the rest when he gets them. That was nice of him, since I will have to buy more threads, needles, and beads. It's snowing again outside. It is really pretty, but it's hard walking through the snow. I don't worry, though. I have a big stack of wood, and I'm cozy and warm. Right again, Peanut. I really miss you. Love, Grandma. Thursday, December 1st. I decided to write a letter to Mother now, before the supper bell rings. I have no homework. I really hope she is getting my letters. December 1, 1966. Dear Mom, I just got a letter from Grandma, and she has found a friend at Sandy Bar. She doesn't have to go to a hotel room anymore. Her friend has a little house that she can stay at. Sorry I have not written earlier. I have nothing to write about. I'm doing all right, and I look forward to seeing you at Grandma's at Christmas. Where will we all sleep at Grandma's little cabin? Some people will have to sleep on the floor between the two single beds. That'll be fun. I have a pair of glasses now. They have a black frame, and they curve a little bit at the corners. I can see really clearly now. I don't didn't know that there was anything wrong with my eyes. I also got a filling in my back left tooth. It didn't hurt at all. It's hard to believe that it is actually December now. I can't wait to get home. Write again soon. Your daughter, Violet. The bell just rang. We have to line up. Friday, December 2nd. I went with an older girl to babysit on the next street. Her name was Helen. We walked through the woods to get there. The blonde woman was very nice, and she had two children, a boy about 4 and a little girl 2 years old. I was telling her about the paper dolls we used to play at home that we cut out from the old Eaton's catalog. She ran downstairs to her basement and came up with an old Eaton's catalog, and she gave it to me to cut up when we get back to the residential school. I was so grateful. Saturday, December 3rd. Someone noticed that Princess was missing from our lineup for breakfast. The three girls do not know where she has gone or when she had left. They were crying in the lineup, and Miss Tanner had to take them away. Sunday, December 4th. There's still no sign of Princess. Everyone is whispering ideas and suggestions. But no one knows, and Miss Tanner won't say either. One older girl said that they probably sent her to another residential school. I don't understand any of this. Monday, December 5th. After supper, my two friends, Sarah and Mary, decided to ask if we can go upstairs to the storage room to cut up the Eaton's catalog. Miss Lewis is on duty for a couple of days because Miss Tanner had to go somewhere. She gave us a pair of paper scissors, and we sneaked up to the third storage floor, and we sat down beneath the window and cut out our paper dolls. We had a lot of fun. When we were ready to leave, Mary told us that this is her second year here, and that two of her sisters had stayed here too, but that this third floor was where the little ones used to stay. It was called the junior dorm then. The older girls on the second floor could hear their little sisters crying up here, but they were not allowed to come up to comfort them. That sounded really sad. Tuesday, December 6th. I really enjoyed supper. It was some kind of hamburger and macaroni casserole with lots of cheese on top. Some of the girls always complain of tummy aches every time we had cheese in our meals, or some, even when they have a glass of milk at night. I don't know why. I can eat anything, it seems. It doesn't bother me. Nothing much to write about. And so I'll end the reading there.